This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let's start. Welcome everyone. My name is Soumya and I'll be your host for this session. So before starting, I would introduce you to Tech Canvas first. So Tech Canvas is an IT certifications training organization for professionals wherein we help students to crack their certification exams in first attempt. We are IIBA endorsed and PMI authorized training providers. So we provide business analysis and project management certifications training. So we also have domain courses into banking, finance, healthcare, and many more. Uh, okay, so let's move ahead with today's session, which is very interesting. It is the field of data analytics, and we have with us Priya, who is a certified business data analyst and a Tableau desktop specialist. She is a senior data analyst with diversified professional experience of 10 plus years in business intelligence with an MNC, the public sector with Teach for India, and curriculum development with the lead school. So Priya will be the one who will take you to this exciting field of data analytics. And I would request Priya to take the session ahead. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you so much, Soumya, and a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining the session. So, yeah, let's get started and let's first look at the agenda as to what we will be covering in this session today. So, first, we'll be talking about what is data analytics. We'll take a deep dive into understanding this term. Then we'll move on to looking at the data analytics life cycle, how it is actually executed in organizations, the different tools and techniques that are popularly used in data analytics projects. Then we'll take a look at some of the popular roles in the data analytics field. And lastly, we'll look at the future of data analytics. So yeah, let's get started. So my first question to all of you, what is data analytics, right? So all of you must have heard this term data analytics. So I would love to hear your thoughts on, what you feel, what is your understanding of this term data analytics? You can unmute yourself, you can type your answers in the chat box, feel free to do that. Any broad ideas, thoughts as to what you feel data analytics is? All right, okay. I have an answer from Nilesh. Systematic analysis of data uh, to a meaningful information. All right, yeah. So basically, it is the basis is analysis of the data to get some meaningful insights, right? So thank you, Nilesh, for sharing your thoughts. Let's take a look at what exactly is data analytics. So data analytics basically aims to use business data, right, to get meaningful insights for business decisions. Now, business data from various sources is analyzed using different mathematical and statistical models to look for, say, patterns. Like, for example, the new marketing campaign, say, is not working as expected in the North region, but working very well in the East region. So this is something that you can derive by looking at the patterns. Or different trends like are the profits increasing or decreasing over time, the impact of seasonality. We might have higher profits during the, say, holiday season. And also to predict and forecast, say, maybe you can forecast the profits for the next quarter, right? So this is then used to derive meaningful, actionable insights for the business. Also, remember, actionable is an important keyword here because we might develop different insights, we might analyze a lot of data, but the value is realized only when it is actually implemented and used in the business. So these, whatever patterns, trends, predictions we find out from the data, they need to be converted into actionable insights for the business and actually put into practice, right? So these are a few examples of what different things we can do in terms of data analytics. There are a lot of other things that can be done as well, but these are some of the basic things that we look when we analyze the data sets that we have, right? So let's look at some of the real world examples in data analytics that we come across. So for example, why in case of business, right? So why did we see a steep drop in the revenue in the last month, right? So now here, it's important to remember that without data analytics, right, we might be biased into answering this question, like why we are seeing a steep drop, or we might just conclude based on our understanding. We won't have any concrete proof as to why this is happening, but with help of data we have the proof as to why exactly this something is happening, right? So data analytics basically gives you that edge in decision making and actually understanding the problem or the opportunity. How can we develop targeted and personalized marketing campaigns, say for the northeastern region, right? So this is developing campaigns for a particular region. How can we boost customer acquisition and retention? How can we predict attrition and avoid it? Predicting disease vectors and outbreaks. What will happen to the sales if the marketing spend was increased by 5%? So also data analytics is not only just used in the business or in industries, but it is used across different domains, be it say education, be it healthcare. All domains that you can think of have data analytics in them, right? Because in the end, each domain is collecting data and analyzing that data yields valuable insights, definitely. So the domain actually here doesn't matter, right? So data analytics is widely used in almost all domains that you can think of. Let's look at some of the use cases, right? So many of us, again, might think that data analytics is used only in organizations for business decision making. But you may be surprised how often you have come into contact with products and services empowered by data analytics. So let's take the example of Netflix, right? So Netflix connects and collects enormous amounts of data, like the content you watch, the time and date, your ratings, and much more. And how does this information help them? Well, they get to know the trending TV shows and movies, what is actually currently trending. They analyze this information using different algorithms to decide what content to buy or create in the future. They also provide personalized recommendations, right? We see those recommendations coming up on our Netflix screen, what you would like to watch next, right? So this keeps their customers happy. So they are giving a personalized recommendation to each of their customers. So everybody's Netflix screen is going to look different because it is their personalized recommendation that is popping up on their screen. And how does this help us, right? This is helping Netflix, but how is it helping us? So yes, it saves us time searching for content that we like, right? We get a ready-made curated list of content that we might like. But had it not been supplied, we would not have known if it was, this content is actually available on Netflix. As well as we get a list of trending TV shows and movies as well. Right? So basically, they're working hard on customer satisfaction and giving personalized recommendations. And this has helped Netflix quite a lot. So you can check more about how Netflix is using data analytics online. So you will get a good amount of information on how they're using data analytics and how it has actually helped them. Another exciting example is about Uber, right? So as a rideshare company, Uber monitors its data to predict the spikes in demand and the variations in driver availability. So this information allows the company to set the proper ride pricing and provides drivers incentives so that the necessary number of vehicles are available to keep up with the demand. So data analysis also informs, also forms the basis of Uber's estimated times of arrival predictions. So we see those predictions, right, when your cab is going to arrive, and customers want this prediction to be pretty accurate. So again, data analytics plays a very important role in giving these predictions. And yeah, this leads to a greater customer satisfaction. Okay. So these are just two broad examples of the different data analytics use cases that we usually come across. There are a number of other examples, namely another like popular example is Amazon. Amazon, like Netflix, again uses personalized recommendations. They give the exact predictions about the delivery time and a lot other areas where they are using data analytics, and it has really helped them grow their profits. Right? So there are numerous examples where data analytics is widely used in the industry. So yes, there are different types of data analytics. I feel that it's important to understand, right? Because we saw these examples here, right? These are using different types of data analytics. So let us look at what are the different types that are actually used in the industry, right? So we have descriptive and diagnostic analytics, right? So they look into the past. So basically, descriptive analytics looks at what has happened. So by developing, say, key performance indicators, KPIs, these strategies can help track success or failures, like tracking the market share. Diagnostic analysis also looks at the past data, historical data, right? And the question that this type of analytics is targeting is, why did something happen, right? So this is more advanced than this descriptive analytics. Here we are just understanding what is happening. In case of diagnostic, we are trying to find the root cause and analyze the problem, why something is happening, right? So they take the findings from descriptive analytics and dig deeper to find the root cause. So for example, the performance indicators that we were analyzing in descriptive analytics, they are further investigated to understand and discover why they got worse or better, like why are sales dipping in a particular region. Right? So descriptive and diagnostic analytics, they look at the past. Whereas predictive and prescriptive analytics, they look at the future. Right? So predictive analytics tells us what is likely to happen using statistical and different machine learning techniques. Like, for example, which customers are going to churn in the future? Who is going to leave the company? How can we prevent that from happening, right? So this is, we are predicting something and we are helping business to avoid it if it is obviously not good. Whereas prescriptive analytics, it tells us what will happen if a particular path is taken, right? So again, prescriptive is more advanced than predictive. It takes insights from predictive analytics, and again, using different complex machine learning algorithms, we can understand that if we follow a certain path, what will happen. So for example, what will happen to the total sales if the marketing spend was decreased by 5%? Right, so this is more advanced analytics than the predictive analytics, where we are just forecasting something. So these are the four basic types of data analytics that you will come across in the industry. So whatever problem any industry is trying to solve, it definitely would fall into one of these four buckets. So this was all about the different types. Now let us move on to the next section, where we'll take a look at the life cycle of data analytics, the different tools and techniques used in the industry. So first of all, let's start with the data analytics life cycle. But why do we need this life cycle? So for any project to be completed successfully, right, it is important that we follow some steps in a sequential manner, right, so that we can go ahead and reach till the end task, the completed task. So this definitely will yield good results in the end. If we haphazardly perform different activities at different time, that is not going to help. But doing things sequentially will make a bigger impact. So the first part in the data analytics life cycle, so basically when any project kicks off, right, data analytics project kicks off, the first thing that an analyst is required to do is understand the business requirements. So the business first needs to identify what is the business goal that we are trying to solve using data analytics, and then convert it into questions that can be answered using different data analytics techniques and tools. Right? So this business understanding of the requirements is extremely important. This has to be very clear. And they also need to identify the expected output from the analysis and its impact on the business. Because see, in the end, we are talking about, using data analytics and the impact on the business, right? The end goal is how is data analytics helping businesses grow or improve? So this is the first vital step that should be performed. After that comes the data collection step. So the focus can be shifted to what data is already available with the organization and what needs to be collected to achieve this goal that we have formulated in the business requirements, step 1. So data collection, basically, it refers to gathering inputs and information that can help answer this business question. So data can be collected from surveys, questionnaires, reviews to get insights about what users are thinking, feeling, or different unstructured data like audios or audio data, images, or CCTV video data. There are numerous data sources that are coming up nowadays, right? So data can be collected based on whatever the business is trying to solve. Also, data can be structured like everyday business data, right? Customer data, sales data, product, geographical data, or regular transactional data can be used. So once we have collected the data that we need, the next step is data cleaning. So another important point to remember in this cycle is this data cleaning is one of the most critical and time-consuming steps in the life cycle. So you will find many analysts, data scientists, like anyone working with data, spending most of their time in this particular phase, right? Now, what might be the reason for this? See, if there are errors in the data insights provided by this data that we have collected and the following analysis that we will be doing would be incorrect, right? Leading to wrong insights and misleading business decisions. So making sure that the data is clean, in a good quality, and is appropriate for the business requirement is extremely vital. So basically, this step involves identifying and removing inaccurate or irrelevant and erroneous data, handling null values, say outliers. Outliers are nothing but data which is far away from the expected range of data. Say extremely small or extremely large values, which can affect the analysis, or removing duplicates, converting columns to correct data types, data transformation, and there are a lot of other tasks involved in data cleaning. So one of the most important parts of this life cycle. Once we have clean data, it is ready for analysis. So initially, exploratory data analysis is performed on this clean data, which gives us a basic understanding of our data before we move into applying more complex approaches like, say, hypothesis testing, machine learning algorithms, predictions, or in fact, even advanced statistical inferences. So exploratory data analysis gives us a basic understanding as to how our data is looking and what models or what techniques might best suit for analyzing this data. Right? So once we have that information, we then move on to the actual data analysis part. And based on the goal that we are trying to solve here, we use the different techniques and tools to analyze the data. Once we have our data analysis completed, we then move on to the data visualization phase. So definitely, as you all know, right, a human mind can process visual information much faster than long sheets of, say, tabular data. So visualization helps us to find insights from data quickly using visual graphics. It also helps decision makers to come up with decisions quickly by looking at data visualizations rather than looking at long sets of analysis. Right? So data storytelling is an important part of data visualization, which is used in data analytics. So multiple charts and multiple graphs are connected together to make it into a form of a interesting story for the business decision makers. So many visualization tools like Tableau, ClickView, Power BI, or Google Charts, etc., are widely used in data visualization. Once we communicate the insights derived from data analysis using data visualization to the end users, we move on to business decisions. So remember, we said that the word actionable is quite important in this entire data analytics phase, because these insights need to be converted into business decisions which are actually implemented in the business, right? So they are in this stage incorporated into the business. And also, like, this entire process is iterative, and you can go back to any step from any point in the cycle. So to give you an example, say suppose you feel that during data cleaning, the data that you have collected is maybe not very suitable to solve this goal. So from this step itself, you can go back to the data collection step, take a look at different sources that you can collect data from, so that the data is appropriate for the business requirements. So this again is an iterative process. I would say by following the life cycle sequentially, we can see that a complex business problem can be broken down into more manageable and actionable steps. And this is how raw data can significantly help a business grow. So this is the basis of the data analytics lifecycle used in the industry. Let us take a look at the different techniques. So has anybody come across any data analytics techniques that you would like to share with us? Any techniques that you have come across or you've heard, read, anything? All right, let's take a look. So basically, as we said, that data analytics is an iterative process, right? And it involves various techniques and different tools to extract value in order to solve business problems. So it has become an essential tool for any organization that collects, stores, and processes data as part of its operations. So different techniques that are commonly used are, let's take a look at the different techniques. The first one is classification. So basically, say for example, you want to identify whether a transaction is fraudulent or not. Say a credit card transaction is fraudulent or not. You classify it, whether it's fraudulent or not fraudulent, yes or no. So this is nothing but classification. Next is clustering. So clustering is nothing but grouping customers, say for example, based on their purchase patterns. So clustering basically is nothing but creating different groups based on the similar patterns that you are observing. And based on these clusters, then you can go ahead and take business decisions on creating targeted marketing campaigns or developing different strategies for those particular group of customers. Then comes recommendation. So this we already discussed, right, with the Netflix example. Which movie would the customer like to watch next? So these are the recommendations given to customers. Amazon also uses the same thing where they give recommendations on what products you would like to buy. Next is regression. So regression is, for example, say predicting the interest rate of a loan. So here regression is used in predictions, and basically using the different data that we already have, we can go ahead and predict, say in this case, interest rate, or you can say predict housing prices. Or there are a lot of other things where regression analysis is commonly used. Association analysis. So this is nothing but market basket analysis. You might have come across this term, wherein in superstores you find the arrangement of the products. They do that using association analysis. So wherein there was a study found in one of the stores that people who are buying diapers are also buying beer together, right? So this is something that they found out from the data analysis that they were doing, and using this, they made sure that they were keeping beers and diapers, next to each other in next each other sections, so that people can easily grab both the things while they are heading out of the store. And they did see an increase in the sales of both these items and consequently the profits. So this is association analysis is also widely used in the industry. And time series forecasting. So predicting sales based on seasonality. So this is basically forecasting based on the time, what is going to happen in the future. Right? So these are some of the basic techniques that are used. Again, this is not an exhaustive list. There are a lot of other techniques that are also commonly used. But these are some of the techniques that are good to know and are commonly used. Right? So, okay. So these were the techniques. In order to implement this, and in order to analyze data, build and run and create models, we need some kind of tools, right? So in the industry, there are quite a lot of tools available. Let's look at some of the popular tools. So one of the most popular tool is Excel. So Microsoft Excel till date is one of the most widely used software that enables you to organize, format your data, calculate your data using formula within a spreadsheet. So data analysts may use it to run basic queries and say create pivot tables, graphs, and charts. Even though Excel is used for basic analysis, it is quite powerful in smaller organizations who are not using bigger tools. So Excel is quite widely used in the industry. Excel also features a macro programming language called Visual Basic for applications, VBA. Advanced analytical tools like Analyze Data, the Analysis Tool Pack, and Power Query. So Excel also has added these key analytical features into their platform, and hence use of Excel has been increasing widely, I would say. All of you must have heard about Python, right? So Python is basically an open source programming language used to organize, transform, say, combine and merge large data sets in order to prepare them for analysis. So it has several Python libraries that support different data analytics tasks, including NumPy, Pandas for data manipulation and analysis. You have Matplotlib for data visualizations. You have different statistical and machine learning libraries available. So Python is quite widely used in the industry, and it is a very I would say nice tool to learn if you want to enter into the data analytics field. Another open source programming language and environment for developing statistical computing and graphics is R. It is more used from the of statistical background. Then you have structured query language, SQL. It is used to access and manipulate databases, communicate with the data stored in a database, and to retrieve it, prepare it for data analysis. So SQL basically works only with structured data, meaning data that can be organized nicely into tables, rows, and columns. So most large businesses use some variation of SQL to store their data. So learning SQL is quite essential if you want to work as a data analyst. Tableau is a popular business intelligence and data analytics software. So Tableau helps to make the data accessible and easy to understand for everyone without any coding requirements. Right, so anyone from say simple business analysts who have just started working to business stakeholders or decision makers to data analysts, data scientists, everyone can work with Tableau because Tableau does not need any coding. It doesn't have any coding requirements, and it easily allows you to get insights from data. So you can do basic analysis or advanced analysis based on your requirements. And you can share whatever recommendations you have with technical as well as non-technical stakeholders. So this is a key point for users using Tableau, and they can benefit greatly from this tool. And similar to Tableau, we have Power BI. So Power BI is a business analytics solution that lets you visualize your data and share insights across your organization. So similar to Tableau, Power BI is primarily used for data visualization. While Tableau is built for data analysts, Power BI is more general business intelligence tool. Right? So this was a broad introduction to some of the popular data analytics tools widely used in the industry. There are many tools that are currently available, as well as the data analytics industry is widely growing. The number of tools that are becoming available in the market, the new tools coming up is also quite high. So you need to keep pace with the new tools also coming up, as well as the existing popular tools used in data analytics. So we'll move on to our next section. Let's look at some of the popular roles in data analytics. So would anyone like to share any popular roles that they are aware of in the data analytics industry? Any role that you've come across, or you're already working in this industry and you would like to share? You can unmute or type in the chat box as well. Yeah, Swati says data analyst, business system analyst. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Data scientist, yes, definitely. Great. Thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely right. So we are going to take a look at some of these popular roles here. So the first one, which I would say is a basic role to start off if you're entering data analytics industry, is as a data analyst. So I would say that data analysts are problem solvers, right? So what do data analysts do? So they basically collect, clean, prepare data and perform statistical analysis to find insights, and then they present data in an understandable form for better business decisions, right? So they present insights visually for faster and better understanding. So this is conforming to the life cycle that we saw earlier: collecting, cleaning, preparing data, doing the analysis, and then visually presenting it to stakeholders for business decisions. So, but data analysts focus more on analysis and data communication, right? And data analysts, I would say, they primarily work on the two types of data analytics that we saw that works with past data. the descriptive and diagnostic analytics, right? So for example, conducting root cause and failure analysis in supply chain. So this is an example of where a data analyst might work. So you are trying to find the root cause, or you're trying to find out what is happening, right? So data analysts don't go much into predictive and prescriptive, that is the future parts of data analytics, but they work more on diagnostic and descriptive. Say, for example, last quarter customer retention summary statistics. This is nothing but descriptive analytics. Or investigation of dipping revenue in a particular quarter. Again, diagnostic analysis. So they work on problems which are, already known to the business. So they I would say, perform basic data analysis tasks. What are the skill sets required for a data analyst, right? So as we saw, mathematical and statistical ability, right? Because they are analyzing data using different techniques. So you need to have a basic understanding of mathematical and statistical techniques. Many times programming knowledge for SQL, Python, R is also required. Data warehouse and ETL, that is extract, transform, and load processes. This is nothing but related to data storage. How is data stored and then effectively used for analysis? So this comes in data storage and data cleaning. And finally, data visualization tools like Tableau or Power BI, so that they can effectively communicate whatever analysis and the insights that they have found to the business. And some of the soft skills required are critical thinking, problem solving, and communication. So as you might have already guessed, all of these correlate to what a data analyst is actually doing in the role. Right. So basically, I would say communication is a big part here, because you're communicating the insights effectively with the stakeholders. If this is not done correctly, your job is not done correctly, right? So coming up with different solutions, communication are key factors that are required for a successful data analyst. Next are data scientists, and I would say they are QGIS researchers. And the reason for this is they are basically specialists who apply their expertise in statistics and machine learning models to solve complex business problems, right? So they basically are not given the business problem. Like, say, for example, here a data analyst might be given this problem that please investigate why we are having a dipping revenue in a particular quarter, right? They're directly given this problem. But data scientists may not be given this problem directly. They have to look at the business. They have to understand what are the problems that the business is facing, and then come up with those problems and solutions. So they need to do their research pretty well. So they tackle open-ended questions because they are looking at different business problems. They train mathematical models using structured as well as unstructured data. And why do they do this? To identify different patterns and derive accurate predictions. Right? So this is definitely a more advanced role as compared to data analysts, and they look at the future parts of predictive and prescriptive data analytics. So they have exceptional industry-specific knowledge. But again, I would say that some data scientists do have industry-specific knowledge, while some data scientists don't have. But both of these kind of people are working in the industry. We'll take a look at what can be done if they don't have the specific knowledge. Okay, right. So let's look at the skill sets. So as compared to data analysts, their skill set is more into programming and statistical analysis, machine learning, AI, all of that stuff, right? So data wrangling is nothing but cleaning your data and making sure that it is in a good quality, correct format. Data mining is trying to find out different patterns and different trends in the data. SQL, NoSQL database knowledge, machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning is required, because they are going to use these kind of algorithms during advanced analysis. Proficiency, so here you need to be proficient. You cannot just know, but you need to be proficient in programming languages, say Python, R, Java, C++, whatever is being used in your organization. Different big data techniques and data visualization, because data scientists also communicate the insights to the end users. Again, soft skills are critical thinking, communication, problem solving, leadership. Leadership, again, is important for data scientists because they are trying to communicate with different stakeholders to understand what problem the business is actually facing. So they need to interact with a lot of people, take a lead in understanding what problems should be solved and how to tackle it for the business outcomes. So this was about data scientists. So I just wanted to clarify the difference between a data analyst and data scientist, so that their roles are quite clear to us. So let us look at the differences, right? So data analysts basically work on problems that are already identified and they are ready, right? So a data analyst might be directly given a problem that please investigate why so and so thing is happening. Whereas a data scientist, they work with business to identify new problems or growth opportunities. So they do more of kind of a research into why the business is facing this problem, which problem should be prioritized, or which growth opportunity can the business identify and benefit from, rather. Data analysts work more with static and structured data, whereas data scientists work with structured as well as unstructured data. So unstructured data is nothing but like audio, videos, images, nothing that can be easily stored into databases and tables in rows and columns, right? So this unstructured data definitely requires more advanced techniques and knowledge of how to handle and analyze this data. So you can imagine like analyzing data from a video and analyzing data from a structured table having nicely divided into rows and columns, right? So this kind of data analysis needs more skills with high volume, velocity, and variety, right? So they're handling huge amounts of data. Data analysts basically clean, transform, and interpret data using statistical techniques, whereas data scientists also obviously clean and transform data. Along with that, they use scientific methods to build models and address them. Both of them visualize and present insights, and analysts basically work more with descriptive and diagnostic analytics, whereas data scientists work with prescriptive and predictive analytics. So here are a few examples just to clarify the role. I'll give you a minute to go through. All right, so I hope this simple, comparison will clarify the difference in the roles performed by a data analyst and a data scientist. Next, we'll look at data engineers, who I would say are backend builders, right? So basically, data engineers are specialist programmers who apply their expertise to harvesting data from multiple sources. So basically, they look into collecting data for the entire organization and making sure that they translate this data from multiple sources into meaningful crafted data sets, right? So they connect them all together into an analytical infrastructure for the organization. So this task is very critical because they are creating meaningfully crafted data sets, which forms the basis for the work done by data analysts and data scientists, the analysis, right? It is dependent on these meaningfully crafted data sets. If these data sets are not appropriate, the analysis would not yield good results. So data engineers are doing quite an important role here. Data engineers, basically, they maintain the complete data architecture, right from data collection, transformation to storage. This makes accurate data accessible to data analysts and scientists. So this is an image which really correlates with what data engineers are doing, and I found it really appropriate. So majority of the work, data cleaning, transformation, is in many organizations done by data engineers. Many times it is done by data scientists also. So it depends on what kind of resources the organizations have, and many times these roles might overlap to some extent. But yeah, we do have a separate role of data engineers. Right. So let's look at the skill sets. Again, skill set here is more of data storage and data collection and advanced programming, right? So data warehouse, ETL, data modeling, how to create data models when data is coming from different sources, how to join them, different programming knowledge, SQL, NoSQL database knowledge. They also will look at data governance and security because they are handling data sets for the entire organization. Different platforms like Hadoop, AWS, Google Cloud. They also need to have a basic understanding of machine learning and AI concepts so that they can effectively interact with data scientists and their requirements as to what kind of data do they need, and the ability to troubleshoot whatever problems they are facing. And these are some of the soft skills that are quite useful as data engineers. Lastly, I would like to say that data analytics and business intelligence, right? So data analytics and business, they both go together hand in hand in all organizations. So we saw that under data analytics, we looked at the technical roles here, right? Data analyst, data engineer, data scientist. These were the technical roles looking at the technical aspect of data analytics. But we also need to look at the business aspect, right? There has to be a strong collaboration between technical and business aspects in order for analytical projects to be successful in any organization. So keeping this in mind, we have a new role of a business data analyst, right? Which is a combination of technical as well as business side. So this is quite an important role, I would say, for any analytical project. And we'll take a look at what exactly does a business data analyst do and what are the skill sets required. Right? So take a look at this now. So now you can further elaborate on who a business data analyst is. So in this scenario, right, common data science terminology like accuracy or Cohen kappa is not the language of business stakeholders here, right? So whatever a data scientist is communicating to a business professional, they might not be able to understand because it's in the technical language. On the other hand, data scientists, they struggle to understand the business needs. What exactly is the business requiring? So bridging this business analysis skills to data analytics, a business data analyst here plays a critical role in ensuring overall project success. So they basically understand the data language as well as the business language, and hence they can communicate with both the parties. So the business data analyst role on a project team is quite critical. And I would say that any data analytics project team is incomplete without a business data analyst. Because you can simply just understand what will happen if we don't have this business data analyst in the picture, and we are just having this data scientist communicating from the technical aspects with the business stakeholder who is not very comfortable with this technical language. So there will be a gap in what the business needs and what the actual data analysis is being performed. This gap is bridged by this business data analyst role, and hence it is very critical. So let's look at who business data analysts are. They are problem solvers, I would say. And basically, they are business analysts, but they have a solid business understanding, and they use specific competencies and techniques to explore and visualize business data continuously. Right, so this provides valuable insights which improve business decisions. They basically start off from the first phase in defining and formulating research questions based on business needs. Now, remember, a business data analyst is better suited for the first task on our life cycle, right, as compared to a data scientist, because they have a solid business understanding. A data scientist is more of a technical person, and we cannot expect them to have a business understanding all the time, right? If the domain changes, they might not have that kind of understanding. So a business data analyst is the most suitable person to formulate the research questions and understand the business goals, the first step in the life cycle. They manage all stakeholder communications like external, internal stakeholders, data analysts, data scientists, technical, non-technical, all kind of stakeholder communications are managed by BDAs. Then they plan the business data analytics approach, right? So business data analytics approach, how data analytics can be used to solve the business problem. So they play a crucial role in creating this plan. They help in planning the data collection. They do a small part of data validation. They perform exploratory data analysis. They also work closely with data scientists, and they combine the domain knowledge with the technical knowledge, right? So they don't work with, they are not data scientists. They are not going to build models, but they bring in the business perspective, the domain knowledge, and they give this information to data scientists. Like, is the result derived by data scientists answering the business questions? They communicate findings to stakeholders using data visualization or data storytelling, right? So as you can see, they are playing an important role in each and every phase of the data analytics life cycle that we saw earlier. Business understanding, data collection, validation, EDA, exploratory data analysis, working with data scientists on analysis, data visualization, and finally, business decision making. They help in decision making as well. So just a quick look at the 5 practice domains by IIBA, which have been designed to help business data analysts work better in data analytics projects. So first phase is identifying the research questions. Next is source data, analyze data. Once the data is analyzed, interpret and report data to stakeholders. And finally, use results to influence the decision making. So these are the 5 domains that IIBA has defined, wherein a business data analyst majority spends their time in a data analytics project. Right, let us look at the skill sets. So they require foundational understanding of different machine learning models, not in depth, but just foundational understanding. Why so? Because they are going to communicate with data scientists in the data language, right? So they need to understand the basics. Business data visualization and storytelling using different visualization tools. So again, once the data scientist gives the insights, they are going to convert these insights into decisions for business. And how will they communicate the insights to non-technical stakeholders? Using data visualization and storytelling. And basic statistical analysis techniques, which they can use in EDA or other simple analysis of the data that they are collecting. So analytical thinking and problem solving, creative thinking. So these are, I would say, soft skills from the like soft skills for data scientists or data analyst, which we saw. Along with that, they also require organization knowledge, leadership and influencing, facilitation and listening, and adaptability. Right, so quite a dynamic role, I would say, of a business data analyst, and this is This role was developed when organizations realized that they tried to analyze why many of the data analytics projects they were undertaking are failing. And the main reason that they realized was the gap between the business non-technical teams and the technical teams, data scientists, data analysts. So they needed someone to bridge this gap who has knowledge of both the technical as well as non-technical areas. So hence this role came up as a business data analyst. And once we have people with these kind of skills, with a mix of these skills, this definitely, industries saw increasing success rates in the data analytics projects that they are undertaking. So yeah, quite an important role, I would say. Right, one quick task for you guys here. I would like you to help me map these different tasks under the roles of data engineer, business data analyst, and data scientist. So who performs which task? You can type in the chat box if that is convenient. So first one, performing business problem discovery. Who do you think does this task? Okay, I'll give the first one. First one should be basically done by a business data analyst, but if this role is not available, it is done by a data scientist. Maintain the data architecture. Who do you think performs this? Okay, this is performed by the data engineer. Exploratory data analysis. This can be performed by both. Thank you, Kanika, for sharing. By a business data analyst as well as a data scientist. It's actually a combined task. Perform actual data analysis. So who does the data analysis? Okay. Yeah, so data analysis is done by the data scientist as well as the data analyst. Yeah, but we don't have that option here. So data analyst or data scientist. Technical visualizations. So technical is the keyword here. So that is done by data scientists. Yeah, thank you, Ganika. Use data storytelling to communicate insights. Who do you think does this? Yeah, absolutely right. Business data analyst. Also, if this role is not available, a data scientist might use data storytelling. And lastly, build systems to collect and convert data. Yeah, thank you so much. This is done by a data engineer. Perfect. Awesome. Great work, all of you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. All right, so let's move ahead to our last section of, the future of data analytics, right? So basically, data analytics, as we saw, is used in a broad spectrum of applications across different domains. So you will find data analytics used in any industry or any domain that you come across. Maximize profits and ROI. Definitely, organizations using data analytics have an edge than organizations that are not using analytics. It helps in maximizing the profits and ROI. Provide critical information, say for healthcare, right? Health informatics or crime prevention, environmental protection. So these applications of data analytics use these techniques to improve our world. They provide critical information. Data-driven decisions instead of intuition-based decisions, right? So they empower and facilitate better decision-making in the organization. So I would say as more and more data is being collected every day, data analytics applications are also increasing exponentially. And this presents new opportunities to apply data analytics to more parts of the business, science, and everyday life. So I would say the techniques, tools, the different roles, the areas where data analytics is helping, all of these are widely, increasing as we are progressing ahead, right? So definitely it has a very bright future, and yeah, I would say that this, hence it looks very exciting as well, right? So yeah, and definitely stronger business performance as well. So with this, we end our session, and I will open up for any questions that we might have.
Hi Priya, this is Ramna here.
Hi.
I just wanted to know, do you provide support for Tableau desktop certification? Like the data cleaning in the process and everything on the questionnaires?
Yeah, so we provide training for Tableau for the first basic certification, that is the desktop specialist certification for Tableau. So we do have a course. You can check out our course on our website.
Okay, it will be from the functional perspective, right?
Functional as well as technical, both, because in order to
Okay,
crack the certification, you would need both
okay,
aspects, right? Yeah.
okay.
So we do have Tableau as well as Power BI training courses, which you can check out on our website. Also, I would like to just add on that yeah, we do again with Tableau and Power BI, we do have a basic exploratory data analysis course using Excel. So this is for anyone who is starting to look and enter into the data analytics field. So this is a basic course, as well as we have the IIBA CBDA training program. So basically what we discussed just now, right? Business data analysts. So IIBA has come up with this certification as a certified business data analyst. And we do have a training program. So this training program basically works in two ways, basically to help you crack this certification by IIBA, as well as to help you work and gain knowledge as a business data analyst and go ahead and work in the industry. So say suppose if you are from business analysis background and you want to take up this course, so basically you will get in-depth understanding and knowledge of how to use your business analysis knowledge in data analytics projects and work as a business data analyst in those kind of projects. So you can check out all these 4 courses on our website at techcanvas.com. Do we have any more questions? Thank you so much, Gary, for appreciating, and thank you so much for your time as well.
Hi, Priya.
Hello.
My name is Akin. Just want to ask if we can get the recording of this class.
Soumya, can you help with this question?
Yeah, so the recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel by this week. So if you want to, watch out the webinar, you can visit our YouTube channel.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Do we have any other question? Okay, so I think this was the end of the webinar. Thank you, Priya. This was a very insightful session. And all of you people who joined, thank you for joining. And as you can see the details on the screen, if you have any queries, any doubts regarding any of the trainings that we provide, you can contact on the number provided, and you can visit our website for more details. Thank you for connecting. Hope to see you on the next webinar.
you so much. And thanks, Soumya.